All right, let's get straight into it. With equity markets near record highs and the frenzy that was GameStop, today's topic is bubbles. How do you spot them and how do they burst? Hopefully Carl Capolingua from Think Markets can tell us all. He joins us now live from Perth. Carl, welcome to the program. All right, these times are unprecedented, or are they? I know that you've got a methodology when it comes to identifying these bubbles. So excluding GameStop, what should we be looking out for when it comes to noticing a top?
Yeah, good afternoon, Kara. Thanks for having me on and giving me the opportunity to hopefully help viewers be able to spot when your stock is in a bubble and that bubble is about to burst. GameStop, AMC, obviously the big ones from the last week or so. Some people say that Bitcoin is in a bubble. Some people say the whole market is in a bubble. So obviously it's pretty relevant right now. And I think the key, as you know, I'm more of a technical analyst than a fundamental analyst. And unfortunately, when we're in bubbles, the fundamentals tend to go out the window a little bit. And that's what makes it really hard to, I guess, not so much spot them, but identify when you might be at the top of them using fundamentals. Using technical analysis, we're tracking the underlying supply and demand for the particular asset in the market. And we're using, for me, I like to use three main things to spot bubbles. So price action would be the first one, volume. So the number of shares changing hands in any particular trading session, and then the volatility of the particular security as well. You mentioned GameStop in your introduction. I've no doubt that GameStop is in a bubble, or in fact, I actually would predict that the bubble has burst. We've actually got GameStop, the chart on screen at the moment. And I guess the most obvious thing you see on the chart is how flat it was prior to this amazing spike we've had over the last probably dozen or so candles. And that's how quick some of these bubbles can appear and then disappear almost as quickly. So on this one, we're looking in terms of the candlesticks, and they're the white and black bars at the top. Right, that's where we get the price action from. And I've drawn the red arrow on the key bar there. So the bar which I think as an investor you would look at and say, look, okay, there's something going wrong here with this uptrend. So obviously before that, the uptrend is very, very strong. But when you have that huge blow off top that we're trying to spot, and that is where you open at a relatively low level, you have a huge spike in the price, but then you can't sustain that and close all the way down near the lows. That would be the first thing to look for, and then you want to marry that up with what's going on in the volume and the volatility as well. So the next part of the chart just below that is the volume. They're the blue bars, and then the red bars down the bottom is the volatility, and I measure that using the average true range. So typically you'll see this huge price action, that huge blow-off price action occur on a volume spike as well. And typically when you see that volume spike, obviously volume is buying and selling. So you've got a major changing of the hands between the old guard that was probably in it from the beginning to the new speculators that are coming in and end up holding at the top. Well, what's different about GameStop this time is that the volume was really subdued on that big price action signal, and that was because trading was restricted. So that's why it is different from maybe some of the charts we're going to look at today. Whether that's a trend that's going to persist, will we see these kinds of spikes? Will we see brokers respond with restrictions in the future? I don't think so. I think that the brokers that did that had a bit of bad press, and that's good news for me because my methodology should stay intact.
Right, Carl, it's all about volume, it's all about volatility. Let's hope our viewers can put those on our charts. Thanks so much for joining us this afternoon.
Absolutely. Thanks, Kara. Always a pleasure. Catch you later.